From fashion secrets to champion secrets, here are 11 and a quarter things in Destiny 2 that you might not know. If I asked you, what are some necessary parts of Destiny 2, I'm willing to bet your first thought isn't shaders, but as it turns out, Bungie would disagree. You see, while it's hard to find, Bungie selects a default shader for each weapon and armor piece that you collect. This means that with a bit of digging, you can find shaders that change literally nothing about the armor. While this may seem like useless info, it means that if you find a piece of armor that you really love how it looks by default, it's possible to find its corresponding shader to make all of your armor match for that glorious drip. There are certain perks in the game that require you to swap to them to trigger, like Eager Edge. But did you know that pulling out your ghost is counted as swapping weapons? This means that perks like Eager Edge, as mentioned, can easily be re-triggered by popping out your resurrection partner for just a few seconds. This also works for the seemingly endangered species of backup plan on fusion rifles. And it could be helpful. Question: when is weekly reset? If you said Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, you would be right. Okay, so when does Banshee's inventory reset? If you also said at the weekly reset, you would only be partially right. For some reason, Banshee's a little confused and actually resets both weekly and bi-daily. You heard me right. Banshee will reset part of his inventory twice a day. So if you are really devoted to hunting Banshee's weapons, you're gonna need to set a few alarms. There are a few perks in the game that trigger on, quote, powered melee kills. These obviously mean that you get a kill with your melee ability when it's fully charged, but for Titans, you have a lot more ways to trigger these perks. Using heavy-handed to generate orbs on powered melee kills, you can see that this will also trigger on even things that aren't your powered melee kills. How? Simply have one of the corresponding elemental infusing melee aspects, such as Roaring Flames on Solar, Offensive Bulwark on Void, and Knockout on Arc for some free bonuses. This is incredibly useful for build crafting, so keep it in mind. Did you know I'm giving away another Chipotle gift card to a random subscriber at the end of this week? Simply subscribe and leave a comment down below with the word burrito to enter. The Weavewalker aspect for Warlocks was given to us and then promptly disabled for who knows what reasons, which means that you might have missed some cool interactions that this now has now that it's back and working in PvE. While in Weavewalk, the threadlings you generate can still be triggered to go and attack by simply dealing damage over time effects while inside that Weavewalk. The easiest method I have found is with the Wither Horde. This is a really powerful tool because you are basically an invincible threadling turret. Give it a try. Fun fact, supers are generated by dealing damage, taking damage, and getting kills. Shocking info, I know. But did you know you generate more super energy by dealing damage with primary weapons? Even though the rate of fire of this trace rifle is significantly faster than my tap-fired Sweet Business, you can see the Sweet Business is gaining energy far faster. This one was one for my own curiosity, so I'm just throwing it in here. If you are running double special, you probably know that when you run completely out of ammo, you will generate more randomly over a period of time. What I was curious of, because I'm not insane enough to do this normally, is if this works in PvP. Thankfully, it does not. But hey, If you didn't know this about PvE, this might encourage you to give it a try. Have you ever had a Jimothy on your team blocking your shots? Well, with any type of armor-piercing damage or mod, this ceases to be an issue. For example, when I equipped the armor-piercing bow mod from the seasonal artifact, my arrows zip right through teammates, whereas previously they got stuck. I really wish this feature was enabled on teammates by default, but it's handy nonetheless. While I was testing the ammo regeneration trick, I noticed something I haven't before. Witherhoard has a special animation when you fire a shot. I bet 90% of PvE players are rolling their eyes at this information, but I always tend to fire my Witherhoard and then immediately swap off. So, a single shot and then you don't really get to see what happens. But if you're like me, you might be forever cursed with never being able to unsee this subtle little detail. This is a chill clip fusion. It applies slow. Slow stuns overload champions. This is Radiant. It applies anti-barrier. Anti-barrier stuns anti-barrier champions. This is the unstoppable seasonal artifact for fusions. Which one will trigger on this overload champion? If you guessed the unstoppable, you were right. You probably knew that the game won't let you apply all 3 champion counters at once, but you might not have known that the game will prioritize the seasonal artifact over absolutely everything else. Still, this is really handy to have, as you can kind of effectively have 2 champion stuns on 1 weapons with a chill clip weapon such as this or anything of the sort, just by choosing to aim down sights and hold it for a second. Semi-Auto Striker is an artifact mod that grants you a stack of armor charge when you land multiple hits with a ranged weapon such as like a scout or a bow. But did you know that weapons that fire multiple shots at once, such as the Trinity Ghoul, will trigger this perk near instantly because of its unique multi-shot properties? Sadly, this doesn't seem to work with Wishender, but let me know what other weapons you find that this does end up working with more than it should. Huge thank you to friend and clan member Marksman. He's the invisible guy that constantly is getting shot in the background but is never on camera, never writes a script or anything. He's very, very helpful. Subscribe for your chance at a burrito, or I will make an inch of the top of your head bald. Bless your faces, and deuces.